afternoon to everybody. Welcome to Mrs. Best Reviews. We have renowned author James, aka Watchyomouthreviews, with us as always.
Yo, yo, yo.
My husband, he loves your intros on your channel. Go subscribe to James, by the way. He be walking around. He said, I'm James and I'm going to try and watch my mouth. I'm like, Josiah, you really? He said, it's catchy. I said, okay. You have a fan of my spouse. Anywho, we're here to discuss Loving Hip Hop Miami, Season 5, Episode 3, still on weak ass VH1. So we're going to jump right on into things. There is a note at the very top of the hour, top of the morning show, whatever you want to call it, that says basically this episode and everything that we're going to see was filmed prior to Gunplay's arrest because he was just arrested for pulling a gun on his wife while she was holding their small little baby. So the show is like they don't condone that. This was filmed before that. Leads me to believe Gunplay won't be back, which I don't care. That man needs Iyanla treatment, a 5150, and some other things. But outside of that, this is the first episode we see Florence El Luce. I believe I'm saying her name correctly. And Florence El Luce is announcing that she has a new single with Trina. She does compa music, which is Haitian, I believe, or Caribbean. I am not of that nationality or culture, so if I got that wrong, I apologize. Basically, so last season and the season before that, we got Flo. And Flo, aka Florence El Luce, is married to, is it Marlon?
Marlon, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. So she's married to Marlon. Marlon's basically a cheat, like a serial cheat. He did sleep with her sister, her blood sister, also slept with her blood sister's best friend, slept with some of her other friends. And she found out last season that he had a secret child that she knew nothing about. So they are Hot Mess Express. They're like the little Rashida and Kirk's in training or something. That's what I had. So fast forward to today, we find out that she finally decided to leave Marlon. And basically, she says that Marlon does not want the divorce. And we see that she's talking to her mom and them after leaving her businesses. And her mother is like, I still love Marlon. I still love him. You know, I'm always going to support you, but I don't want you guys to get divorced. See, he's still being a good father. And I'm just like, women of this, they're Haitian for one. So in different cultures, there's different things that are normal, societal norms. So apparently from what Flo is telling us, in Haitian culture, the societal norm is to stay married regardless of what's happened. He can be beating your ass. He can go and fuck both of your daughters, as what's happened with Flo's situation. They still believe you should stay married. So James is laughing at me because he knew I was going to go in on that moment. He had to know, why are you telling
I wanted to go in on Mama.
Why are you telling her to stay with him? This man drove a wedge between your children and put his man part in both of your children's lady parts.
Because 9 out of 10, her daddy was like this.
Then that's what she said. She said, I know your dad was that way. Your dad did the same things and I stayed with him. So you basically want her to be unhappy and then hope that she can live off of one of her children?
Honestly, it didn't seem like the mama was unhappy about that. It just seemed like she was like, yeah, men do this. That's fine. You know, it's okay. You learn to be bigger and better and everything about that. And it's like, I don't have that kind of patience.
Fuck that. You in America now. God damn it. We believe in divorce because apparently over 60% of marriages end in divorce. Oh, listen.
I mean, that statistic is going up.
I also think, do you want to send this message to the kids that she's raising, like to boys and girls? It's not okay to do this to a woman, and to girls, it's not okay to accept this. So I'm glad she left him, but I don't know.
I don't know about this. I don't think she left him. I really don't. I feel like this is just a matter of she'll get back with him at some point because she didn't come across to me as she was done with him. Like, that's not what it came. And it doesn't help that her mom is, trying to pacify the cheating and all that he has done and trying to make it seem like, oh, well, your dad did this, it's fine. And it was like, Mama, first of all,
from the
Just because
mom.
I said, just because you went to get your heart broken by a man and you decided to stay with him because you had no other alternative, does not mean I need to do the same. I'm the breadwinner here. So whatever the fuck I say goes. And if I tell Martin to get his motherfucking ass out of my house, that's
He's gonna
exactly
leave.
what he's going to do. Regardless if you like him or not. You go live with Marlon.
Do you think that she only left Marlon because of the backlash from fans, the embarrassment?
No, I think really what it was that it was him admitting that he slept with her sister.
Mm.
I think that's really what it was, because the problem is that her sister gave off in the last season. They were always in competition with each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what to sister. That was the energy the sister was giving. So Marla was kind of like the one thing I felt like that the sister couldn't compete with. There's no way you compete with the man who's married to me. So when
Mm.
he revealed, or when the sister revealed that she slept with Marlon, and Marlon didn't deny that shit, it was like, oh no, like no, that's not how this works. So yeah, I think she left because of the sister. I think that that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me.
I
Or
hope it
for
was because she done forgiven so much. I'll never understand anyone who forgives a person who makes a kid while with them, like behind their back. Like,
Yeah, because I felt like the
mm,
cheating thing, I feel like depending on the circumstances, I may can overlook it. But when you have a whole baby, oh no. You have crossed all kinds of lines because now I have extra mouth to feed now.
mm. So
So it's like, no, there's no way. There's no way possible. I have an extra mouth to feed, a baby to guide into this world, and also to raise up and make sure that he becomes somebody. I have to do all of that. Meanwhile, I have our other children that I have to look forward, and then I got to take care of your no good ass. You got to come home. I got to cook for you. Then I got to fuck you. Then I got to do all this stuff. That's not. That's too much.
she
That is
said,
too
I'm
much
not,
on
I'm not
anyone.
dealing with that. Listen,
No, get you.
I
No,
feel
that's what I
it.
said.
Flo is, I
Yeah.
don't know what the hell's wrong with her, but we do find out she says she's seeing someone new, but she's keeping it a secret for now, which we'll get to later in the show.
Hmm.
Finalize your divorces before dating people, please.
Right. Yeah, y'all
Like,
stop doing that shit.
stop. Let
Like,
the people
or
who
not
are
even
smart
finalize it. If the
enough to
judge is giving
die.
you a settlement, like if a judge is giving you a settlement offer and you both have accepted, then that's when you start dating, because that's pretty much you just wait for his signature at
Your
this point.
paperwork,
So
yes.
yeah, you just wait on the signature. So if that's what it is, but if you separated or if you are still in,
It's
your
been less than a
divorce,
year. It's been less than a year. She shouldn't be dating whoever it is, which we'll
you need to
discuss.
be in somebody's counseling session if you tell me, because some tell me your family and how you grew up with that mama.
Fucked up. Fucked
Yeah,
up.
some tell me you need to go to therapy more than you need to be dating.
I
That's just me
definitely,
personally.
I
Yeah.
definitely agree. So the next scene we see is Gunplay and his wife Fanshay, his 24-year-old wife, who is literally the age of probably one of his children. I'm just predatory. I don't give a fuck. That's weird. A 24-year-old knows nothing. And so for him to be 40 plus, seeking that out to me is weird. I always think that though when I see like older men dating someone who's literally young enough to be their child,
I
or
say this.
women.
I say this a lot of the times. If they were in grade school by the time you were 18 years old, you have no business with them.
That's right. That's right. They need
You
to
have
make
no business. I
that.
don't care how much older they get. I don't care if they're 18 and you 37. If they were in grade school and you were over the age of 18 when they were in grade school, you have no business with that baby.
That's
And I'm gonna
right.
say it just like that, with
Yep.
that baby. You have no
Yes.
example. I don't care
Yes.
about the Erica Janes and Anna Nicole Smiths of the world. I don't give a fuck about any of
No.
that.
Erica Jane and
That
Anna
is
Nicole Smith were way past 24 when they got with their men.
what they got with their husbands.
Way older
Exactly
than
my
that.
point.
Yeah.
Exactly my point. And that's why I'm saying I don't care how many, because everybody loves to point that out. Whenever you talk about younger women, older men, I was like, well, Erica Jane and Nicole Smith, them women
No.
was grown as fuck. Erica Jane just got out of her first marriage before she got into the second marriage with her husband. She was married before and had a whole baby.
Mm-hmm.
Anna Nicole Smith was what, 40 when she got with that man?
Mm-hmm.
How was Anna Nicole Smith? I know she was older. And yeah, so y'all not gonna play like them women was 16 dating a 30-year-old. Shout out to Kirk and Rashida. But
He
I'm
legally
just saying.
adopted her so he could marry her. So
Yeah.
pervert, don't care. And he showed it through his marriage because every girl he ever dealt with was young, if you peep. Even the one he made the baby with, young, like really young. So, anywho, we see Gunplay and Vanshay, and basically they're discussing their child who has 1 in 10 heart defect that impacts her quality of life. She had to have surgery. You just don't want tiny humans to have surgery, bro.
Right. That is such a. Every time I see that baby, and every time I think about that, I'm just like, oh my God, that's
It's
terrible.
a hard one because so this is gonna be just there's gonna be a lot of disclaimers on these lives today. I'm gonna just fucking tell y'all. I'm not good at stuff like this. I'm not a lawyer. I'm training to be a therapist. I could tell you and help you feel better about your childhood trauma, but when it comes to the legalities of shit, I'm not the best at it. So we are gonna discuss Gunplay's little relationship. We are gonna have to discuss his baby being sick, and we are going to have to discuss it in a way that to some may seem messy, but to us it is relevant. We are just recapping the show, not judging these people, and we do wish that child well. But they're discussing the baby, they're discussing her health issues, and Vanshay is experiencing stress. She did just have this baby. She's extremely young, so her body wasn't even fully done developing yet. She explains that she's going through postpartum depression, and that she's stressed about paying for her education in addition to paying for her child's medical bills and the baby's cost of treatment. You're writing a dissertation, you're in medical school. You were not married while in school. So while I understand some of your stresses, sis, financial aid, the rest of us fucking do it. You do it too. You can apply for it. You might not be able to apply for it now with Gunplay, but you could have applied for it. The other things, you say you want to work in federal law enforcement, and you've already got your bachelor's, you've already done your master's, and now you're working on your PhD. So my thing with this young woman is you have the ability to get out there and work in your field and make good money, even without a doctorate. Now, I understand now that is difficult for you to do because you just had this baby. And when kids have issues like what this child has, she probably has to stay home and take care of this child and rely on Gunplay. And who the hell wants to do that? That is where I think we're going to see shit start to be.
Yeah, that's exactly. Time will definitely tell where this ends up because, and that's another thing that I didn't like watching this is that this is a lady that has so many promises and goals. So when you have that and when you can achieve certain things and do certain things, why are you depending on this man to then further equate stability for you? That is crazy to me.
What's the point in getting your education?
Yes, that exactly.
Going above, like I'm not getting no PhD. I'm gonna get a master's degree, but that's it. But you're going above and beyond for a PhD. What is the point of doing that?
I mean, there is a good promise against, but I feel like where she is in her life, that is not how you get it. That is not what you do. What you do is you now have a baby. So now you need to fluctuate your time because this is going to get harder. A baby growing from birth up until 10 is going to be all of your need.
Especially when you have a special needs infant.
Right, exactly. Now, once they get 10 to 18, they become a little bit more self-sufficient and self-independent where they may not need you. They can go to grandmama house for a couple hours while you in school at night. They can do all of that. But see, the problem that I have with her is that I really felt like, and this is what a lot of you women do, and I'm not trying to down women when I say this because this is not what I'm here to do. A lot of y'all women meet men that know what they're doing in bed, and in y'all whole minds are completely erased of any common sense and notability that you do have. Which is crazy to me. It's amazing to me that you let the emotional equation of you being penetrated well detour your whole section of mind, because that's not what that was intended to do. Sex was not intended to be like that. I get it. It has its advantages, but that is wild that this is where you ended up at, and then further along where you're going to go. That's just crazy.
I just want to know what happened with Vanshay in her life and childhood that caused her trauma to end up with somebody.
You know what? If I had to say it based on what we saw of her mama, I feel like she was sheltered. I
Yeah.
feel like she was sheltered, and I felt like when I was looking at her mama, she couldn't breathe at certain points. So gunplay is her rebellion.
Yeah, that's what I got. Thank you.
That
Thank you.
yes,
Thank
yes,
you. She's so young. She's sheltered. She grew up also her family, they're educated in things that make you substantial amounts of money without the
right.
show. So they're probably trying to understand what it is. But I did kind of get that. It seems like she has a little bit of mommy issues. She's stressed out about school. My thing to say, Von Shay, no shade, says apply for financial aid. They give that shit to anybody. And I'm pretty sure Gunplay has an income that you can still qualify for it. That's all I'm going to say, no shade. But the other thing we see is they speak about the pushback, which a lot of people who are familiar with or fans of the show, hell, even if you're not a fan of the show, at this point, the Shade Room is like CNN was back in 2005. This is the place to be to find shit out, it seems. So they have been posting Hollywood Unlocked, tabloids. At one point, I believe even TMZ picked it up, and it's rare that they pick up these little D-list loving hip hop celebrities, but they did because Von Shay and Gunplay made a GoFundMe that was meant to be for their daughter to cover her hospital costs. Insurance don't cover everything. So
Right.
let's just make one thing like clear. Insurance does not cover everything. I had a surgery that I needed that was literally life-saving, and my insurance covered most of it though. Shout out to my husband for the insurance. Thank you. But there's still I have a lot of medical bills from that shit still to this day that I'm trying to pay it off. And I can understand that with a baby because pediatric, especially neonatal care, which is what this baby would be under, like so much more expensive because they have to use smaller tools. It's just a lot more that goes into it. So I can understand that they have medical costs. Here's my thing: these interviews that you guys have done, plus the money you've received from the GoFundMe. Why did you receive that money and then go give Rick Ross a watch, an expensive watch with diamonds and things that could pay for probably months of your daughter's care? Why did you gift him that? I understand he may have been helpful, but not so helpful that your daughter's care is fully covered. So why are you taking money that's supposed to go toward your child to go to,
Let me explain something
and
to
then
you.
asking the public, hardworking American people, and I don't even like America, but hardworking American people, you come to us begging for money on GoFundMe. Then you got at and went off on the people interviewing you, the fans, talked all sorts of shit, told people, I watched it, to die slow, and that you really the one who gonna come after them because you can't take care of your child. So I just feel like them talking about the DJ Envy interview, Gunplay is not able to emotionally support himself, let alone her. What are your thoughts on the whole situation with those two and the
My
GoFundMe?
thoughts on this whole situation. First of all, I'm not gifting no grown ass fucking man no expensive ass fucking watch when I know I have a baby that's fighting for its life.
Yeah.
There's no way in hell I would do this. So that lets you know right there, Von Shay, where his mindset is if that's what happens. So I'm gonna say that first. The next thing I'm going to say is why in the hell do y'all have a GoFundMe account when he's supposed to have all this money and accolades and everything?
He ain't got no, he's a drug addict. He probably spent all of his money on coke when he was wilding out during COVID, during the pandemic. That
And
money's
see, and
probably
that's the thing. I'm
gone.
not gonna even put that on that man, but my thing is this. He's been on this show for several seasons. And that's why I said, Von Shay, I don't know. I'm looking at you. I want to say it's rebellion. I really do. I want to say you rebelling against your people because you've been sheltered your whole life, and this is what you thought was going to fulfill that void. I want to say that, but something else tells me it's something different. And those of you who know what I'm talking about know what I'm saying. I'm just not gonna say it on this camera, but I'm
Yeah.
looking at you when you a girlfriend of a drug addict, and and he also deals as well. I look at you with a side eye.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I
I'm just
think
saying.
that she got with him definitely to rebel and definitely to do all of this to piss off her parents. I don't fully trust Von Shay. I don't trust anybody that want to be a Fed. I'm just keeping it real. If you want to work for the
I mean,
government,
her being a Fed does not make her.
the shit that
Yeah.
they do, the system is broken, and one person ain't gonna fix it. I don't trust it.
No, but the thing about it is,
they
there's
turn
always
it.
an exception to a rule. I don't want people, because I've been on that side, so I know there's always exceptions to the rules. Yes, we do have some undertow up in there that definitely needs to be evaluated. I'm not going to lie to you, but let's not misinterpret some of the goals of that. Getting a government check is well established and well guaranteed. That I would love to run a research lab that the government funds. I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm not mad at getting a government check, but getting a government check in a way to try, because she wants to be a federal prosecutor and go into that to prosecute. And there's a lot wrong with the system. I'm just like, But at the same time, it's like she's still black excellent. But I don't like the feds. I don't give a fuck. I'm not talking about like regular federal jobs like postal services or data entry for, you know, city, county. I'm talking about like those having to do with law enforcement, the justice
She's talking about
system.
the Federal Bureau of Investigation, Secret Service.
Anything. Yeah, them, police, all that. I don't deal with that. But
Mhm.
it is what it is with those two. What I will say is him speaking about DJ Envy, the two of them speaking about the comments and why people are upset at this GoFundMe. They so into their own heads. They didn't even stop to think for a second, like, hey, we probably have a lot more, or look like we have a lot more than most of the people we're seeing. Maybe we shouldn't ask them for money. Like, it doesn't. And then also, you're celebrities, so I feel like you should be able to get insurance that is well
Well,
above the
my thing
price
is
that
this.
I
This is
have.
and this is another thing that I'm puzzled by, because Vashay's family comes from money or
Exactly.
has money. Where is your
Exactly.
mom? Where is that mama now in this junction? Because she was all at the birthday party. She was all mouth and wants to know all the situation. Where was mama at when this baby need this money for the surgery and need to pay these medical bills? Where was mama at?
Well, she ain't asking for no more money since she's been had to leave Fist of
This
Gunplay.
situation is
She
different. I hate
probably
when people,
ran
yeah,
right back to her mama.
yeah, this situation is different, because a lot of people say that. Well, we don't want to. I don't want to ask mom because I don't want to go back to that. This situation is different. We talk about your baby's life.
That's right.
We're not talking about your ego because you ran off with this man who ain't no good, and we turned out really wasn't no good because your life could have been gone from you.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not talking about that. We're talking about the simple fact that you just had this baby who needs serious medical attention, and you have family that has well-established money from careers. Where is your mama at? Why are you suck that pride up, put that shit to the side, mama? Your grandbaby needs it. I will
But then
come
at
to
the
you
same time,
when they need it.
we could also ask where's the mama at, because if I have a kid, right, regardless of what's going on in my family and our little issues, I guarantee you, if I had a kid that was in their situation, I could call my mom, issues and all,
Absolutely.
and she would probably find out before I could tell her and be trying to pay the bill behind my back. My dad too, like they would move fucking mountains to help their grandchild. I truly know they would. So the whole situation is strange, but I think that we can come to like the agreement that they shouldn't have made the GoFundMe. She also tried to say they made it just for family and friends and it became a thing. You did not make it for family and friends, because you can make a private GoFundMe if you
Yeah, I
want.
was gonna say, why wasn't it private then? But I remember her saying that, and I was stuffing my face, and I was looking at that, and I was like, I ain't paying no attention because I can't trust too much of what we're Gunplay and Von. I can't trust. They're like Ray J and Prinky.
I feel like she wanted to have her little hood dream, because there's a lot of people who either are African American or have family members in a part of a certain community that may be viewed as more, let's use the correct word, urban. But listen, you could connect with parts of the hood in other ways, girl. Go buy some top ramen noodles from the store and put some hot sauce and garlic in it. You don't need to get with this man.
I don't even know why that is still a thing in this day and age. Why is that the only connection we need to have? What about connections to the South? Seeing roots. Why don't you understand where you come from? like, and understanding what that is versus wanting to go out and be in some world stereotype that makes us look
I
ignorant and bad.
noticed that. I went to private school from elementary and middle school. Came to high school like, what the fuck is this shit? Right? The kids that are there, especially the African American kids that are there, they don't think of history and all of those things. A lot of times, I can't speak for them all. They're more concerned with trying to be down, trying to be accepted. And they
And I
view
get that.
when you're in a private school, like I was one of 5 kids, and my school was K through 12, 5 kids who were Black. That's it. So I feel like Black kids who grow up in those environments similar to Von Shea, where they're in private school, they have this small group that's in the school and Black and educated. And then outside of that, sometimes the only thing they see are the things that are presented. Now we have social media online where you got to talk like that, roll your neck, city girl this, city boy that. So there, I feel like she's young and trying to align with trends and stuff. And she tried to do that through him.
No, it just, I
But
get what you're saying, but it then makes me wonder when she was growing up how well connected was her mama with Black history, because that's easy to say. But my mom, when I was growing up, bought me all kinds of African American history books to learn
James, our
about all
parents
people.
were rare. There's a lot of people, specifically from our high school, who I've literally had to explain.
No, I know that. No,
And
I know
like
that. Yeah.
people, your mom, she's great. The woman's fucking amazing. Look at you. The you have sense. Like you can really tell a lot about a person from their parents. So your
Right.
parents did a good job and obviously taught you about history, which helps you to behave in a way that aligns with just being an excellent human being, not all that extra shit. Like, and you were surrounded in an environment, especially as a Black man, where if y'all saw where we went to school,
Right.
child.
It was some
So
of every, we had some of everything.
I don't think a lot of people I meet though, like my dad, he did a lot in terms of activism for the Black community and raised us also the same way with books and stuff. However, a lot of people I've met in public, private, and even peers, they don't know a lot about Black history. And it's kind of like, uh-oh, but then it's not taught in schools, and that's a whole nother debate. So I just feel like Von Shea as a whole, you did all this to rebel, got a baby. The baby came out ill. Now you have this lifetime basically of potentially having to care for her and be concerned. And this man who,
Who's unstable and can't even at least be mature enough to even assist or even guide you because he's the elder. Let's not forget that, people. It's not like this is 24 and 18 where he don't know shit and she don't know shit and they're the blind leading the blind. No, this man is grown and has older children, which I'm starting to wanting to know, were you there for those other children, and are you, or is
they're
this your
just
start
talking
over?
about this baby, but Gunplay does have other kids. And I
Yeah.
want to see how his 24-year-old wife behaves as a stepmom to his kids. Because I just can't really take a 24-year-old as a step parent in general seriously. Like, you're 24, go live your fucking life. Like, don't be raising somebody else's kid. I stand by that. I don't
Right.
care.
Right.
Like, we're going to move it along because I think we're going to have to come back to them looking at my notes. Yeah, we are. But the next thing to be quick because I'm not going over it. Listen, I feel like Mrs. Best Reviews, Amina Akila, that is me, Mrs. Herbert, whatever the hell you want to call me. I don't buy Ray J and Princess's storyline for a millisecond. Okay, Ray J and Princess, they don't know what to do with them because they were cast members of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. Ray J's the one who they were promoting to get people to watch Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. So Love and Hip Hop Hollywood is no more for whatever reason. Honestly, the cast was a hot mess. Tierra had alcohol problems. Lyrica's kind of a Karen bitch a little bit. Fucking, Miss Nikki Baby had a baby and she can't do too much or her implants will pop. Then it's just the cast. Then the girl who threw up on someone, that cast was a hot mess. So now they're like, what do we do with Ray J and Princess? They want to keep them because Ray, I'm not gonna lie, Ray J is funny. But him and Princess, I don't take their relationship seriously, and I haven't ever since he pushed her in that pool years ago. I ain't taking that seriously. So he's back in Miami. He meets with.
I forgot that happened.
Oh, I'll never forget. He pushed her in the pool to get
He
by.
sure did.
He sure did.
And she married him anyway.
And she married him anyway. Yes.
Okay, hurry
So
get through the scene because I'm tired.
I'm done with Ray J and Princess. I'm not going to talk about her gambling and her poker tournament. Like when she wins a poker tournament, like I'm not saying she hasn't won one, but like the big thing. And when I see her doing this for a couple years, I'll take it serious. But until then, really, they have their own network. Y'all can let them go to Zeus and ruin Black culture over there. I don't want to, because Zeus does. It may be fun for some to watch, but it is a little bit of an embarrassment, in my opinion, to African American people. Like, we can really do better. Some of the shit I see on Zeus is like, are you fucking kidding me? They got people in wheelchairs fighting people who can walk. They got they listen. They got a show for strippers. They got it's too damn much for me on Zeus. So Safaree, Trick, and Gunplay, they met on a boat. Ray J complains of his problems and says he thinks it's his karma, what's happening with Princess. But I know it's not karma. I think those watching know it's not karma. I don't buy Ray J and Princess's storyline. I just don't. I don't buy it. So I'm not going to say anything other than that. James, if you want to give feedback, you're more than
Move
welcome.
on.
Yeah,
Move
thank
on.
you. See, I'm not going to be doing that. So anybody watching my recaps for Love and Hip Hop Miami, I'm not going over Ray J and Princess as a couple storyline. But when there are other scenes dealing with the cast, I will discuss it. But I'm not doing this poker thing. And VH1, shame on you. Shame on you. Can you at least edit to where you show that you think that we're at least a little intelligent? Because this is the clearest and fakest storyline. And honestly, this season, with the exception of a few, it seems like bullshit. So moving it along, Trina, Joy, and Bobby Lights, they do the Miami podcast, which I have heard of before. I don't really listen to podcasts. I need video to my sound, but that's me. They do the Miami podcast where Trina speaks of her niece, who she called Sugar. It was all over the news. There's a horrible shooting in Florida, and she was a victim of it. So she died due to gun violence, which is an actual problem in Miami. So Trina spoke about this, and she said it broke her. It also sounds like it's a big reason why her relationship with Raymond ended. So what I will say, sorry y'all, this damn fan went crazy. What I will say to Trina is she never looks happy. She just doesn't. She hasn't, you could tell that she holds pain and things that she's gone through, and just does not let it out. And every time she loses someone, because unfortunately, we've seen Trina lose a couple of people on Love and Hip Hop Miami, one of them being her mother. I just feel like she should have took a break. It doesn't look like she took a break from her career. It doesn't look like she took a break from doing the show. It doesn't look like she took a break from anything and has not healed from any grief. So I think that she should definitely seek help for that. For anybody who is struggling with grief yourselves, you can go to helpline.com. It's a helpline website that connects you to national agencies that basically answer the phone and help you with either talking to you or getting you through moments, from the suicide hotline to the grief hotline. So I will put that in my description. It should already be there for those struggling with grief, because grief is something that comes out of nowhere. It's not something you can really control. So you definitely want to get a handle on it as soon as you can, or at least help yourself to understand and process and go through it. So that was important to me. I know some of y'all, I didn't come here for that, but somebody might need some help. So we want to do that. Anywho, we see Joy speak with Bobby about Magic Mondays, which is a talent show that she is putting on with Marlon, who is Flo's ex-husband. And I'm just like, I guess Joy likes Marlon. It seems like Joy's just trying to find unavailable men, because she's always.
I was going to say, Joy. Joy. Joy.
Joy.
Where is that divorce? Are you and Trick still married legally?
They are. She claims it's because of financial issues. She says the house, she's got credit card debt because of him. So what? Everybody does.
Joy, I'm gonna say this again. If you do not cut this shit out and stop playing with us on this TV, because at first I used to feel sorry for you. I really did. I used to feel for you, and I used to be like, damn, Trick, like either get it together or let her go.
Mm-hmm.
I used to say that. I used to be mad at him. I used to be right there with Bondi Blue. Shout out to Bondi. Right there with Bondi Blue, calling him the Mucinex monster like she did. Because the shit that. Stop, Amina.
I'm sorry. I cannot.
Yes, I used to do all of that. But now I'm looking at you and this goofy shit you're trying to do with Marlon and thinking, are you playing the same kind of games that Trick is playing? And is this why we ain't seeing y'all divorce yet? Because I'm starting to think now it's you and him. Joy, get it together. I don't want to go through this with you another season of you and Trick and this bullshit.
If you just file and keep up with court, whether he participates or not, after so long, they will grant you a divorce, whether he likes it or not.
In community property states, they do that. In
Not in
non-community property
Florida.
states, it's a little different. Community property, absolutely, they will definitely sign off on that divorce. And I
Thank
think
you,
there's other
California.
surrounding states. Yeah, only in community property states they do that because at that point, hey,
I know the South
you,
is just hell to divorce in, I've heard though. Like I know Georgia wants you to literally separate for a year, even if you're already
Virginia does
broken
too.
up. If
Virginia's like that as well. I don't know what Florida's law is, but I know they just won't divorce you just because you're keeping up with court. They will literally wait until that man shows up and makes a decision because then at that point, and that's why I respect California for just trying to get that shit done and over with. Like, hey, you wasted people time and money. Get the fuck on and let's come on. Like
yeah,
that's what it is,
California, if you want to, if y'all both agree, you could be divorced in a damn day. They don't play
right?
out here.
They
You
don't
could
play
be
with you. They ain't got time. They ain't got
done.
time. It's 65 million people in that one little state,
Mhm.
so they is
Stop
not gonna
coming
play with
here.
you. They
We
they
don't
is not
want
gonna
you.
play. They is not gonna play with y'all. Get it done. Like so, I really feel like with Joy's situation, and that's why I said that's why I'm looking at her with the side eye now. First, I was not. I'm gonna be honest with you. From first season to this one, I was not looking at Joy being the problem at all. This episode, baby, look at Joy in a different light because I feel like why are you getting these like emotionally unavailable men? Why are they abusive? Why are they cheaters? Why are you dealing with this? And how? Where's the connection between you and Marlon? They neglected to mention how you two are even connected in the first place.
Yes, I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna
Yes.
get to that
So
at the end of the video. We're going to discuss not just the editors, but why much of this show, my suspicions for it being scripted were confirmed. So we see Florence El Luce, Flo, whatever the hell she goes by, in the water at the beach. I caught an editing fail, which I thought was funny as hell. They showed her in the water at the beach, like submerging herself, and then she was supposed to come out of the water to who we see she's dating. But when she came out the water, she was magically like just dry. I said,
mhm.
"Oh, look at them fucking up. Why ain't the wig wet?" What's because she was just all of the water, putting the water through her hair. Then she came back, that thing was bone dry. I said, editors do better. I don't know. I know you
Okay,
said
like
Tyler Perry bought BH1, and if you've seen a Tyler
oh, he
Perry,
didn't buy it no more. No, 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 no,
oh,
no.
he did it.
Tyler didn't get the bid. So VH1 is back with Viacom, and I believe BET is as well.
Oh wow.
Yes, so I think they're trying to rebuttal. I think 50 Cent and somebody else joined in on the bid for it along with Tyler Perry, but I know that it's back with Viacom as of now. It could change because if you
Hmm.
guys know how that, well, I don't want to explain how that works. That's going to take a whole hour to explain that. But just know, yeah, they're trying to renegotiate another deal.
Well, either way, these editors fucking failed with that. I was looking at this like, okay, so let's make this ship. So Florence has a girlfriend. She's dating a woman now. The girl's name is Claudia. I put in my notes, it's given Sin Santana and Erica Mena. It seemed like they just trying to
No, it's
copy
giving
something.
it's giving bullshit.
Y'all are
It's
not
given.
dating.
It's given. Marlon didn't agree to you with no man, but said yes to a woman just to be goofy and get y'all check on this show.
Mm.
That's what it's given. I don't bit more believe that girl's into women than more than anybody else.
I
I know a gay
also
person when I
don't,
see one.
because that's random and to come
It
out of
was.
nowhere. I don't, in the way that she went about it, it did seem like disingenuous, like she was trying to copy what we saw with Mena and Sin years ago. But I guess she claims she has concerns for the Haitian industry because she's with a woman. And I just thought it was weird because they kept touching each other's hair. I've actually dated a few women, and I'm not saying that every woman does the same thing, but they were just, you know. And I'm like, it seemed like that's all they were really comfortable to do. So it didn't seem genuine because they kept touching each other's hair, but not each other. Most couples touch each other in some way, like a hand on the knee, something. So that's what. Do you have opinions on it further?
No,
Because
that's why I
yeah,
already said my
I was
opinion. I
like,
don't believe her.
okay, you're dating a woman.
I don't believe her.
We don't care. Congratulations. That's the thing. Same-sex relationships are becoming legal everywhere, damn near in the States, which is good. We're making strides and all of that. But when you do something that seems disingenuous or just date a woman because this man pissed you off when you're not naturally attracted to women, like you're giving the LGBT community, like it can't, I can see how that could kind of be offensive. Like, don't just come in this community because of that. Like, be here because that's actually what you identify with.
Well, they do that because, like I said, I don't believe her. I don't believe this is
Yeah.
real. I believe this is Marlon didn't agree to no man, so he gonna let you be with a woman just for you to just shoot yourself in the foot.
If
That's
it's
just what
real
it
or
is.
fake, either way, I feel like it's slightly offensive
It is offensive.
because
It's
you're
more
using
offensive than I know two dudes who married each other for the tax write-off.
I cannot, James. I just
And
couldn't.
I'm like, and I'm still trying to figure out how they've been doing this shit for 5 years. I'm still trying to figure out how the fuck they're getting away with this shit. I'm not trying to put them on blast, but I'm just saying, y'all need to stop making, because the problem is gay people have fought really hard to have the rights that they should already have as people. Nobody should be able to dictate who you marry, regardless of gender. So that's where, and so to see people be goofy with it and be in relationships with the same sex because they don't want to disrespect their husband and be with another man like you're supposed to be, because I don't get gay from you. I don't care how much you try to emphasize that you like this woman. I don't believe it.
It's also strange how it came up, but I don't know. Flo has a girlfriend. I think she might have thought it would break the internet, but it's funny that this aired this before Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, because after that Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, which we will recap immediately after this recap, I don't think anybody cares.
No.
Yeah, so
It wasn't believable. Like it wasn't.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
You know what would have been more believable? If she would have found somebody out of her league like a white man. That would have been hilarious. That would have been perfect. Flo,
Right.
you missed the mark. I am disappointed in you.
Yeah, I feel like
Because they love, because I tell you, out down there in South, especially in South Beach, they love y'all out there. I promise you they do.
I don't buy any of it. Last season, Flo was getting kicked out of festivals. The Haitian community booed her. Now suddenly she's doing mainstream music with Trina and all this stuff. So it's very strange what's happening with her. But whatever, we'll see what happens. Honestly, no shade to Flo. She's not really that interesting without the storyline of her husband. I don't want her to be with him because I want her to be treated correctly. And Marlon sucks. But outside of Marlon, please comment and tell me if y'all disagree. Like outside of Marlon, Flo is not really interesting. This is my opinion. I'm not saying she's a bad person. I'm just like, for reality TV, she don't give nothing. She got to go and actually, if my nigga did me the way that Marlon did her, I'm gonna go find the finest thing that could get to your.
That's what I'm saying. Like she wasting her time. And like I said, last season wasn't even Flo that brought it, was her sister who bought the drama. So
yeah.
like,
I wonder if we're gonna see her sister. But moving it along, we see Raymond, who is Trina's now ex, but she was engaged to him. Trick Daddy and Snoop, who is Trina's brother, they all meet up. Basically, Snoop, who's Trina's brother, caught them together because he is concerned about Trina since the passing of her niece. Again, we offer condolences because she was so young and she was bright, and it's just a terrible thing. However, Karma, they're saying that Trina shut down. They're concerned. Raymond says that she really shut down after Sugar died, and that she claimed after that she needed some space because she can't be in a relationship or any of that. Trick. I'm gonna move on from this thing quickly, but Trick Daddy, he's hella funny. He reminds me of the South so much because he was like, listen, if she don't love you, if the bitch don't love you, then you don't love her. I said, Trick, it don't just work that way. And who are you to say that when you still in love with Joy and won't leave? You literally ducking and dodging paperwork on TV. I never seen nobody. I'm not signing papers. I don't care. He he don't he don't even care. He said, I don't need to worry about the legalities if I ain't intended to show up for the law. He said, I'm not leaving her. So Trick Daddy's like, I'm like, is something going on with him and Trina? Because, which I think there is something going on because I believe I read something online somewhere. But I'm like,
between who?
Trick Daddy and Trina. You don't know? Something happened. I read it online. It was months ago. Not now, but months ago. Something happened with them and they didn't speak.
In the past?
Yeah, in the past. Earlier this year. It was on the Shade Room or somewhere. I have to go backwards and look. I will look for the
send that to me when you do because I ain't hearing it.
They are always going to perform together and stuff, but like their closeness or something, I guess.
Oh, their closeness. No, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're like they don't have like an active beef, but I guess shit happens. So Trick is like telling Raymond, "Don't fight for her back." Trina's brother is saying, "Fight for the love," and Trick's like, "No, either the bitch gonna love you or she's not." So it is what it is. Me personally, I can't beg somebody back who I don't. If you don't want me, then you don't want me.
I think the problem is because their breakup wasn't due to something he did wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where he's leaning on, well, the love is still here. She just has to be open to it. And the problem with Trina is that she is the queen of shutting down. Like she shuts down and she avoids. And it's understandable to a certain degree because what do you do when you lose? Like
But after so long, grow up and try and do something. I'm not saying you're going to stop shutting down and stuff, but at least make the effort. It seems like Trina just lets shit go to shit when it comes to like her personal.
I agree. No, I agree. I agree with that. But at the same time, I don't know. I just feel like it is a sense of immaturity, but I can't tell somebody how to grieve. I just can't. So
yeah,
especially because I don't have any experience in what grief.
I do think though, if you're in a space of grief and you know that you have this history since the 90s of blowing up and going off on people when you're not mentally there, then stop fucking coming around people. At the very least, take some time off.
Right.
So we can say that, but it is what it is. We'll see later more happens with Raymond and them. So moving it along, Vache and Gunplay, we come back to same issues, social media, because you're getting attacked online for that GoFundMe. And this is how I know that she's young, because any grown or older woman would have checked her husband, in my opinion. Why would you go and gift him this watch publicly when you could have just given it to him in private, knowing that we have this GoFundMe up there? Because they shouldn't have had the GoFundMe up there. But in my opinion, the reason DJ Envy on The Breakfast Club, shout out to DJ Envy, I do like The Breakfast Club. But part of the reason The Breakfast Club picked it up to talk about and was questioning it is because you gifted a watch to Rick Ross that was over $10,000 while asking for the same amount of money from the public. What are we supposed to do with that? These people are fucking slow. If you really think that, and I truly believe, like, I really hope the little baby gets well, but at the same time, I truly believe that they were like, oh, people feel bad for this. We can get money. It'll make life easier. If you wanted GoFundMe money because you guys were to say, I'm sorry, money isn't inconsistent, he ain't been in the media or whatever, so we need help or something, people would still have an issue, but people would feel better. But y'all just come out the woodwork, because at this time, Love and Hip Hop was not filming. They weren't even cast to be on the show at that time. So I'm like, this doesn't make any sense to me for them to be so upset about it. And Gunplay, basically, after going over this, shows how immature he truly is. And he says he can't go backwards. What is he supposed to do? Go off? because the old one go off. And then Vache says, well, I'm not used to being a public figure. Girl, you 24 years old. You a child that grew up with social media. We didn't have cell phones for me until the 6th grade, and they didn't do nothing but call. And you had to do it after 9 o'clock if you wanted your call to not cost $1,000. Like, stop. You knew what you were doing. You knew that you were dating a public figure. Also, Gunplay was heavily on social media acting a fool during COVID. So she keeps saying to him when he's like, I can't go backwards or I'll kill these people. And she's like, I had nothing to do with this. Little girl, you had everything to do with this. This is your child.
This is where that's where I lost to. That's why I say I don't see it for her. Because it's given you, like I'm saying, I don't want to call her what I want to call her. You know what I'm saying. But it's given, y'all know what I'm saying. Some tell me, I'm telling you, because it does not make sense. And I would hate
clean my room. I'm grown. I'm gonna go marry somebody.
Yes. And then go get the craziest shit imaginable. And then you want people to normalize that. Mom, you know what, Mama? I'm gonna call out that mama because this is her fault. Mama and parents out there who think that sheltering your kids is the quintessentials of life. It is not. You cause them to be confused. And then what they end up doing when they are confused is they become curious about the wrong fucking thing. And then we end up with this shit here that we're seeing right in front of us.
I want to know why a college student that came from this perfect family wasn't on birth control.
It's not even about that. That's another thing.
I'm just curious. I'm genuinely curious, though, because she says, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm like,
no, it's when sheltered kids become curious about things that they were not exposed to. They get into it and then they get caught up in it. That's all this is. And that's why I'm saying parents who have children, I got to put this microphone up to my mouth because I need to make sure y'all hear me. Parents who have children and you are sheltering your children, you're doing nothing but doing a disservice to them and going to get them caught up in some shit and then you wonder why, oh, well, they were never like that. I didn't raise them to be like that. No, you didn't raise them not to do it. You didn't raise them to expose. You didn't say, hey, life is about choices. People choose different routes of life. I would like you to go to this route. There is nothing on the other side of that fence but this.
Well, that is the problem. I feel like parents who have children and shelter them like Vanche's parents did, they're doing that because they're like, oh, I want you to be successful. But then on the opposite end of the spectrum for kids that grew up either just average middle class or poor like me, shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, though it's harder and you have to work harder when you come from a lower place, you kind of expect and have an idea of how to navigate interacting with people and
that's what I'm saying because you have to think one day they're going to go to college and they're going to meet all kinds of different people, and those different people mostly come from those sides of the fence you tried to shelter them from. And all it takes is one little friend to say, girl, come on, let's go over there and meet Raekwon over there. He got a friend for you, girl. He fine as a mother.
Boy name got to be Raekwon now, James.
Well, I'm just I'm feeding into the stereotype. You
better not ever have come and be like, we're ready to have a baby, Amina. And if you name that little motherfucker Raekwon, we have to stop this. We have to
Do you really think the person that I am with is going to allow me to name my mama will come through. My mama will fly all the way to Miami and whoop my ass.
Whoop your ass.
And whoop my ass for doing some good. My mama said, trust me, I know to give my child a very amazing, very well English languaged, almost close to Caucasian.
My friend Rachel, shout out to Rachel and her mama, Rosella, the R's. I love them. They all have their names start with R. But I genuinely agree with that. She said, because she's Hispanic, she's Dominican and Salvadorian, and she's a gumbo pot of Hispanic and Latin cultures. But she said my mama named me Rachel Alexandra because she wanted me to be able to find a name or find a job. I was like, you know,
Right.
my mama,
Exactly.
my parents, they were like, we're gonna give you African names because then at least they could see its culture and not just some made up. But then they made my a middle name DeAndre. So I'm like, what the hell is that about? But it's cool. It's cool. I don't know what that's about.
No, I mean, it's not. No, I'm not saying if I have a little girl, I'm gonna name her Becky, or if I have a little boy, I'm gonna name him Steven. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm
Mm,
saying is, I'm going to give my children, if I do, whenever they come, if they don't come before 40, I'm not having any. But I'm just saying,
here.
yeah, if they don't come before 40, I'm not having any. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to shelter my children to the point where when they turn 24, they end up in situations like this. They're going to be aware of social construct in every
Mm,
way imaginable because I believe in raising kids to be that way and to be physically and mentally aware of their surroundings and their beings because we don't teach kids that these days. And this is
mm,
why we end up with situations like this, or this is why we end up with a situation where kids think they're in love, but it's only to have you learn.
mm,
I'm gonna
mm.
teach my kids like your first relationship is not love. It is
Nope.
for you to understand a
Yeah,
part of you that I can't teach you.
that's
That
true.
is
That's
that is
true.
exactly what that's for.
That is
So yes, I am going to get into. I'm going to lay it into that mama every time I see Vaishon. I forgot that baby's name already. Vaishon. What is that baby's
Vonshay.
name?
Vonshay.
Vanshay. Va- Vanshay.
Sorry.
Every time I look at her, I'm always going to refer to that mama because the mama's all we saw. I didn't see
Yeah,
the daddy.
yeah.
So the mama's all I saw. So until I see the daddy and
He
until
was
I
there
understand the
at her
dynamic,
little baby gender thing. She's a
I missed it. That's what I remember. I told you
yeah.
I missed it. I didn't see him.
But you could tell the dad
But
is probably and the mom is the one who
the mama got the mouthpiece, yeah. But
yes.
I don't know. Where was that mouthpiece, or was the mouthpiece present, but it just didn't say nothing.
Mm.
That's all I'm
Mm.
saying. Moving on because we get to 11 hip. I'm sorry, 403.
Oh yeah, you're fine. So we're at the end of the show, actually. The only and I did skip a scene for those watching. I told y'all I ain't going over Ray J and Princess. So I did skip that. But
She said what she said,
I'm
and
not
I don't
doing it.
blame her.
I'm not doing it. Anywho, so we see Trina, Joy, Florence Luce at the Magic Monday event. I'm gonna go through this quickly because I don't care. Raymond shows up with flowers. Everyone's like, "Oh, this is sweet." He gives Lord, Trina. he asks Trina to talk, gives her the flowers. And in my opinion, Trina was harsh. She's been fucking rude all season though, thus far. I mean, we're only 3 episodes in, but Trina has been rude. She was rude to the big rapper girl. She was rude as hell to that girl. Didn't even give her a shot. She just if you gonna go through stuff and if you know, here's my thing with Trina. Nobody's trying to tell you how to grieve, sis, on some real shit. But if you know that you are in a bad mood before you arrive somewhere, usually, if you know you irritated, if you know you already bitching, if you know you complaining, if you know you're in a sour fucking mood, leave. Stop showing up because you've been famous for long enough, and obviously our matriarch of this show, to where if you left because you weren't feeling it and you just experienced the death, people would understand it. The problem people have with black ass Trina is that you know that you're in these moods and then you stay around people and then you mistreat them. Now, people do grieve differently, but grief and nothing else is an excuse to treat someone wrong. It's just not.
Boom.
It's
That's
not.
exactly what I was gonna say because this is not Trina's first season doing this shit.
No, it's not.
This is not Trina's first season. We gave her a pass the first time she did this. This was, I think,
Mm.
her second season or second season. When did her mama die? It was season 2, wasn't it?
Season 2 or 3.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was season. Yeah, it was one of them seasons where we gave Trina a pass because that was her mama. Lord knows what I would be like if I ever lost mine. Now, God forbid. I know it has to come one day, but Lord Jesus, I don't know how I'm gonna act. But what I'm
Mm.
not gonna do is I'm not gonna come on Mrs. Best's channel and have a funky ass fucking attitude and take that shit out on her because I'm losing fam. That's not her responsibility to
Bereavement.
coddle me. Yes, to coddle me and my feelings and allow me to get angry and stuff. Nobody owes anybody anything in this world,
Mm.
including when your people die. including that. Nobody owes you a thing. So what I'm gonna need Trina to do is, if you are not feeling filming right now and being around people, and if you feel like it's going to agitate you to every being, then what you need to do is not show up for filming, or tell VH1, I need a break right quick. I
Not
will
now.
come back. I will come back in a half of this season and finish out strong. I cannot do this right now.
In these shows, you guys have to understand it's reality TV, yes, and it is different from the traditional work sector. However, these people still are entitled to things like bereavement. They are entitled to time off. They're entitled to leaves of absences. They need to take advantage of this. Otherwise, it's going to end up a NBC Bravo, situation where they're being sued for stuff like that. They got to figure that out with reality. But moving it along, Trina was harsh with Raymond, and he accepted it. I like Raymond a lot, though. I feel like he's pretty calm. I feel like he's good for her, but women like her also could be dangerous for him. That's just an opinion. Then we see Marlon come in the damn event with flowers, and these flowers, Marlon, Flo's ex-husband, well, soon to be fake ex-husband, because I don't believe the divorce either. He comes and gives flowers to Joy right in front of Flo. So Flo gets upset, says he embarrassed her. Marlon, you embarrass me. You embarrass me, Marlon. And pours a drink over his head. The only reason that you would be embarrassed for him bringing flowers into Joy when you are done with him is because you just lied to us in a previous scene and said he still wants you.
Right. This is where Flo pissed me off. Because Flo, why is you mad at Marlon when you got Tootsie Pop over there?
Right.
Why are you mad? Why are you mad at Marlon when you got Tootsie Pop over there and y'all was playing in
Right.
each other's hair and wigs? Like, why? What did you mad at him giving flowers to Joy for?
Stop. I'm tired of her. Every season she's been on this show, she's been had multiple altercations. Like, stop.
Like, I'm starting like now. At first, until this review, at first I was like, fine, Flo, fine. Be with little Tootsie Pop over there. Even though I don't buy the shit. You and Marlon, I get he got fucked up shit. But for you to get mad because he bought another woman flowers, y'all, you said you didn't want him. You said you were done with him. You cannot be done, but then get mad because he bought woman flowers in your face.
Listen, if
Because then,
you divorce somebody, you're in the same space, and you have to assume that you're going to have to see them sometimes with
at
people.
some point, yeah, and see, that's the thing. If I knew I wasn't ready to move on, I wouldn't be in environments where I would see them.
Avoid it. Absolutely.
I'm that kind of person.
The
If
other
I
thing, you
know,
should not freak out about Joy getting flowers because if you know Joy, Flo, they won't last.
right, enjoy with somebody for a hot second, and here come Trick. So yeah, it ain't gonna. Yeah, it's not gonna work. But yeah, that's all I'm saying is, Flo, you got Tootsie Pop over there. Unless that shit is fake, which I believe it is. You shouldn't be worried about what he doing.
Yep.
Hell, let it be Joy's problem. Because the same shit he did to you, he would do to her. So
Yep.
I wouldn't even get mad at that shit. I wouldn't even pay no attention. I'd be like, oh girl, I'll
Sloppy
dodge that
seconds
bullet.
and leftovers are a term that is a term that's existed for decades, damn
It
near
ain't even sloppy
centuries.
seconds because that man didn't philandered his peen throughout the
Leftovers,
whole.
the leftover food that's been in the Tupperware for more than 3 days, but
Uh,
she doesn't. She still likes
okay,
it.
that man up and down 995 right now, going all over the place. I don't bit more believe
Lord.
this.
But that was
Lord,
it. I know we read people, but Love and Hip Hop Miami, in my opinion, last season was okay. This season, in my opinion, it's become a joke. Amara La Negra did go live saying people getting at her about Safaree, but she had a job and she came to do her job the way the production wanted her to do that. So people are now
well,
thinking that's her confirming that this is scripted and her.
let me explain something to y'all. Miami is a beautiful place. Yes, there is drama. But one thing I could say about Miami is that even when it's scripted, or even when it doesn't appear to be real, there's always stuff in the surface.
Mhm.
So, yes, I can definitely agree with Marlon Negra that this doesn't feel real because they getting these first of all, these D-list people that ain't nobody been heard of. I
Yeah.
can't even tell you half these people, and I live in this city.
Damn.
So I can't even tell you half these people that have names here. So yeah, miss me with that. Trust me. I'm done. I can't. I don't see how she doing this show because I've been drop this shit.
Well, Love and Hip Hop Miami, to those who watch my Love and Hip Hop recaps, Love and Hip Hop Miami specifically, my highest views. I'm a new channel. So I'm like, I had 215 views on the last video, over like 100 on the other. So for me, being a channel with under 1,000 subscribers, I was like, oh, wow. Like my Love and Hip Hop has been keeping up with my song reviews, which is strange. But I mean, hey, people like Love and Hip Hop Miami. I think a lot of people are going to have opinions they want to share. Feel free to share them in the comments. I do respond. We can have a conversation about it. But yeah, obviously a lot of it's scripted. And I think that's why they have a little less controversy outside of gunplay. I don't think that shit's scripted. But
No,
they
that
do
definitely
have
is true. That's real.
they have a lot less controversy on the cast, in my opinion. I think because no one takes Sukihana seriously. I'm sorry. They just don't. And the rest of the cast, you're just kind of like, okay, so I don't know. But we'll keep recapping it and see how it goes. Hopefully the season gets better. But if not, then next year, season 6, Mrs. Best will be recapping other things because yeah, but that is my recap for Love and Hip Hop Miami season 5, episode 3. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I see there's 3 people watching now. I appreciate you all. You're all thugs, thug life. Feel free to stay on my channel, but go check out the other video, which is scheduled, which we're going to start right now because it was supposed to start at 1. And we're going to talk about Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. So adios, thug life, and you're all beautiful.